And a bipartisan pair of House members have reached a compromise on deferred action for childhood arrivals and border security. Representative Will Hurd, a Texas Republican, and Pete Aguilar, a California Democrat, are proposing this DACA fix as talks progress ahead of a government funding deadline on January 19th. With us now from Capitol Hill is Congressman Hurd. Congressman, thank you so much for your time. We heard this morning from President Trump that Representative Bob Goodlatte was also coming out with an immigration bill in the next few days. How would your proposal work alongside Congressman Goodlatte's proposal?
Well, I haven't seen Chairman Goodlatte's proposal yet, but our bill is pretty simple. It's been 17 years of failure trying to get the DREAM Act signed into law, and this was done by Democratic majorities in the House and the Senate. It's time for a new plan, and our plan is a bipartisan way to give a permanent legislative fix to kids that, through their no fault of their own, came here, and we do it while we secure the border. And I have more border than any other member of Congress. I spent almost a decade as an undercover officer in the CIA. It's about time that we use smart solutions in every tool in our toolkit in order to secure our border. And we should be taking the input from the men and women on the ground in order to learn how we should be securing that. And we also address the issue of immigration judges and making sure we're improving the throughput there and address the root causes in Central America that has been feeding some of these issues. So this is the first bipartisan bill, and it's something that we hope is going to be a foundation for future conversations.
So, Congressman, what are your hopes of being able to get something that's like this done from the center? Because we've seen some Republican congressmen attacked on plans not dissimilar from this because it's supposedly amnesty, that bad word amnesty, from people from your party, from the right, who are attacking them. Can you really put together a coalition in the center?
Look, I think President Trump said it today. He said that, send me a bill and I'm going to sign it, right? And I think he's the ultimate deal maker. And the good thing is, anybody who's reasonable that's talking about these 1.2 million kids that have only known the United States of America, nobody's talking about shipping them to a country they've never seen before or don't know. That's not the base of the Statue of Liberty. And so that's the positive thing. But we have to narrow our focus. We have to make sure that we're trying to solve a small set of problems, build confidence so that we can address some of these other issues down the road.
But Congressman, President Trump still insists that any compromise on DACA will come with funding for some sort of border wall, whether it is for the whole border or for parts of the border. You've talked about a smart border instead. How would the two combine?
Well, the part of this, the USA Act, is the Smart Wall, and that's a bill, and that's a legislative initiative that has been endorsed by the National Border Patrol Union. And it says whatever tool DHS believes, and maybe it's a physical barrier, maybe it's a fence, let's have a mile-by-mile assessment of what we need. The reason we haven't been able to achieve operational control of our border is we don't look at all 2,000 miles at the same time. And again, the president said today, you're not going to build a wall in places where there's mountains and things like that. We should be using the Smart Wall. So I think there is room to get this done. I think there's a way for everybody to claim a victory, but it's going to take a thoughtful, bipartisan approach to get this done before January 19th.
Congressman, how much is that Smart Wall going to cost? I mean, we've heard the number $18 billion from the president. I think about a real hard wall. Right. But how much would the Smart Wall cost? And do you have colleagues that are willing to appropriate that kind of money?
So the answer is yes, we have colleagues that are willing to appropriate the money. The difference, it's best to describe it mile by mile. Based on the administration's estimates, a physical wall is $24.5 million a mile. A smart wall is $500,000. And for your viewers that are not math majors, that's a difference of $24 million a mile. So I'm talking about securing our border in a smart way, an economically efficient way, and making sure that we use hardworking taxpayers' dollars wisely.
Are you taking all of these immigration talks and a deal on DACA firmly on the January 19th deadline, or do you expect another short-term extension?
It's a very good question. It's getting complicated. I think getting the 218 votes and 60 in the Senate is going to be tricky over the next 11, 12 days. And I hope that we get all this done before January 19th. That will allow us to get to infrastructure and other issues like that. But we have a lot on our plate that we have to solve in the next 2 weeks.
Congressman, thank you very much for your time today. That's Congressman Will Hurd of Texas. He's a member of the House Homeland Security Committee.